Can't find a job? Let's talk about it.
Hi, my name is Noah Nelson. I live in Arizona, around Tolson area, Surprise area. I've lived here most of my life. For the past month, like about 2 months, I have been unemployed for reasons of I can't find a job. I have applied every single place. I just applied to Carvana and they just didn't accept me because I was too late for an interview because they weren't communicating to me at all. I have applied to multiple warehouses, Vanguard, Puma hired someone else without even telling me or communicating. So at this point, I don't know what to do. I am trying to get a job. I'm trying to work because I have bills to pay, and I am now just engaged with my fiance. But she is working her ass off and doing everything that she can. Well, I can't do anything. I don't know what to do at this point. And if anyone else feels my pain, please like this and share it, because I don't feel like anyone else is understanding us anymore. And it's really pissing me off.
I mean, honestly, I don't really know how to think really too much, more so for the simple fact, one, I've never been to Arizona, so I don't really know the job market like that, right? But for two, I feel like there are some, I don't want to say, an accountability, right? Because he said he was applying for jobs, and I don't want to dismiss that, right? He said he was doing things to take the step to get hired, produce an income. He said him and his fiance just got engaged, right? Things like that, right? He said she's working her ass off, right? So he wants to be able to support her, hold up his weight, hold up his end of the things, right? However, from the outside looking in, I would definitely think there are, let's say, maybe fast food jobs, intermediate jobs. Let's just call them intermediate jobs, right? It don't even necessarily have to be fast food, right? Grocery stores, just lower level paying job. Maybe not the factory job, maybe not the sales job, maybe not the, fancy, glitzy, glam job that pays a lot, right? But for something, for your situation to intermediately hold you down, produce some income until you finally maybe get the job that you've been searching for, right? He said he submitted a bunch of applications, right? Even interview, didn't get it because he was quote unquote late to the interview, right? For whatever reason, or he was too late. I don't know, but there's plenty of intermediate jobs he could work or things he could do that I feel like are always hiring, right? Like, I feel like I said, there's fast food jobs, local shops, grocery stores, things like that. Places that you see are always hiring, right? I feel like I always see convenience stores, X, Y, Z, always having a hiring sign, help wanted, things of that nature, right? So if you need some, of course, again, it may not pay a lot, right? But it'll still produce an income, produce something to be able to at least help maybe pay a bill or two, right? Maybe you pay for the food, right? How y'all eat, maybe the toiletries, things like that, right? Those small things while, like you said, your wife has to, work a lot right now, or your fiance has to work right now to do some of the heavy lifting until you're able to get that now high paying job or a job that's able to support y'all at least for the bare minimum, right? Support two people in y'all's well-being in y'all's everyday living. So I would definitely say to him, man, try to find one of those intermediate jobs, one of those jobs you can work in between, I would say, career jobs to, produce some income, get to where you want to get to, and, hopefully get yourself in a better position in life, man. But let's get back into it.
It's not you. There are no more jobs. And the few that there are, you're competing with 5 million other people, and they're requiring that you offer up your firstborn and already come with 45 years of experience.
I feel like I don't want to be like, I want to say, the person who's going against everybody and stuff like that, right? The bearer of bad news, whatever you want to call it, right? But I feel like I'm just a little bit indifferent, Now, based off the numbers and the economic reports and everything we just got the other day, right? Then there aren't a lot of jobs being produced. There's actually a lot of jobs going away and things of that nature, right? However, I would also say one of the perspectives she had was they want you to have experience in X, Y, and Z. I feel like that is more so a person who just got out of college, that would be more so one of their mindset, some of the things that they would think, because you can't have experience unless maybe you did a little bit of an internship, X, Y, and Z, right? But even then, jobs nowadays want actual job, experience, not internships, things like that, right? So I can understand it from that perspective if, maybe she's just getting out of college and stuff like that, right? Not having an experience, job, wanting this requirement, want that requirement, want this, want that, right? However, if you've already, been in the field a little bit, have some experience, kind of been in your career for, let's say, 5 to 10 years, then you've got that experience, right? You kind of got the hands-on training and stuff like that. You kind of paid your dues, been in, whatever field it is for a little while. You should be able to hopefully have honed your skill set and advanced your skill set and expanded it to where you made yourself more valuable than, okay, I can just do this. And I think that's the part a lot of people forget, right? Accelerating your skills and advance them to where, okay, this is my job, right? But if need be, I can go outside of it and step outside of it because I have this skill or I have that skill and I decided to do this training. I decided to do that training, right? You set yourself up to be ready for whatever opportunity or whatever opportunity you need to be, whatever opportunity you needed to be ready for, right? You know what they say, stay ready so you ain't got to get ready, right? That's part of staying ready, take an extra class, or two, take trainings. They got LinkedIn, all these different courses that either don't cost money, you could do on a free trial, learn on YouTube, whatever it is, right? Just enhance your skill set, man. Improve your overall self-value and self-worth. If you want to work for another company or something like that, if you want to work for yourself, of course, you already going to have some of those skills because your business is going to be dependent on it, right? But let's get back into it.
There's this really crazy theory going on right now because Indeed and all these job search websites have thousands of jobs that say they're hiring, but everyone that's applying is not getting hired. And some guy actually did a test where they had hundreds of people fill out applications and no one hired them or got a call back. And so the running theory is that they're using all people's data and selling it to bigger companies. So when you send all your information in, like your first name, your last name, where you're located, your resume, where you've been, they're taking that information and selling it to bigger companies and holding on to it because right now data is the new gold. And that's kind of scary. What do you think?
Honestly, I would say that's not too far-fetched of a theory when you really think about it. When you think about it from an actual open-minded, perspective, right? I mean, I don't think that's something I could just put past a lot of these companies, right? They could be, giving away your data, right? Giving away your personal information, whatever it is, right? To these different companies who may want it, who's fishing for it, right? AI, all these different things, all this scamming and everything going on now, like there's probable cause for that, right? They could be using it themselves, right? It could be some of the things that your own company's doing to you, and then she touched on, many people applying for these different jobs on Indeed and all these different websites, right, that you can apply for jobs on. I think what's ruining that segment of the market is a lot of that is people submitting AI resumes, right? A lot of their interviews they're doing sometimes is scripted by AI answers, things of that nature, right? And then even companies and businesses, how they're reviewing your resumes. It's not somebody sitting behind a computer or something like that. Just, okay, let me read this. Let me check this person. Let me do a background check, whatever it is, right? No, it's a computer probably processing it, looking for keywords and things like that, looking for good candidates. And I just think that takes the, personable out of it, right? Because I would even say for someone like me, I kind of struggle with interviews, I would say, I don't feel like I was always the best, right? I feel like I got a big personality and I want that to come out in interviews. So I try to, balance that between also trying to give in-depth answers. But I'm not a person who can just sit there and ask, I would say, or sit there and answer just questionable questioning, because I feel like that's some of, the questions that they ask. Of course, they use things like the STAR method and stuff like that, which I always kind of despise because it doesn't really give you a good intel of, well, how does that person truly work, right? What is their work ethic, right? Like people can fabricate an interview. People can, put what kind of fluff, whatever they want in, present themselves a whole different kind of way. And then when you get them on the job, they are lazy, poor work ethic, poor morale, not a team player, whatever it is, right? So I feel as if it should be more personable when you do an interview, right? Really get to know the person, get to know them for who they are, what do you think they would work like, how do you think they would fit into the company, the goals of aspirations of what y'all are trying to get to, I feel like that should be more of what the interviews are. But It's not, unfortunately, and that's not the job and the hiring process now, right? We've kind of made it all digital based. They don't even go for in-person interviews no more. Really, that's like, if anything, maybe a last step, you know, for some companies. I know even the company I work for, it's, I think, all, you know, Zoom, whatever they use, right? Whatever software, Teams, whatever it is, to, okay, we're going to do an interview. Maybe you do a couple of interviews, whatever it is. And then you either hired or not. And then you get some training and stuff like that. And then you go about your merry way, right? Do your job. I feel as if the whole hiring process, the data capture, all these different things going on, man, it's just a big conundrum. You know, I feel like you can get lost in the sauce with all of it, right? So I really disagree with that theory, you know, and the whole job market, again, is its own different animal. Anyways, if you stuck with me this long, I appreciate it. If you liked the video and you like some of the things I said, go ahead and smash that like button. Also, don't forget to subscribe as well. It's only going to help the algorithm. I'm going to continue to say this. I want to build a community here, right? I want to build a community to where people want to come hear what I have to say, you know, come give their thoughts, you know. And with that being said, also, if you have anything that you want to want me to talk about, leave it in the comments below. And also, if you have any thoughts that you would like to share based off what I had to say, leave that in the comments below as well, man. But until next video, I'm out.